G'day my friends, Marty Ware here from Marty's Garden. Welcome to my channel. Now I've got an awesome video for you today, and this is for a few different types of people. Now if you only come here for the worm farming videos, then guys, please don't unsubscribe because there's going to be plenty more worm farming content coming on the way. I just teach also how to plan out with worm castings and get the best results for it. So if that's for you, hang around and watch the video. It's also for people that want to learn organic gardening and small space gardening where you can do mixed plantings. And today we've got a video about Bok Choy, or Bok Choy, however you want to pronounce it, and oak leaf lettuce planted in this amazing container, and it's going to supply plenty of food for weeks to come. Alright, keep watching the video guys, we'll show you how to get started. So what do you need? Well, you need a little spray bottle, some liquid seaweed, preferably some worm castings if you have some around. You need a watering can. Of course you need your plants. And you need some type of organic potting mix. Now you could use any type of premium organic potting mix. I have my own blended compost that I've made here at home, and I actually have my own worm castings. Now if you don't have worm castings, you can use an organic pellet, which is made from chicken manure, seaweed, blood meal and different minerals, and it works really great as a combination with your potting mix or your organic compost. So let's not forget our container, right? I've got a nice big water well system here. Now it has tanks down below, and at the front it has this release valve where the water can come out if it's been in the rain or you've overwatered. Now the beauty about these things is if you go away on holidays or you forget the water, the tanks down below store the water for you. Also, the roots will go down into that system, and if you put a bit of liquid fertilizer in there, it'll feed them as well. I really love these. Now, this might be a little bit big for lettuce, but for Bok Choy, it's going to be absolutely perfect, and it's a great all-round size for lots of small space gardening. And these aren't an expensive container, and they last quite a few years. And they've got this like sun UV sort of treated plastic, so they won't end up in landfill after about a year of using them. I really like them, and we're going to plan it out right now. But before we do that, what we need to do is we need to liquid fertilize, well, liquid water in our seedlings. And what that does is it just takes away any of the shock. It's like a little mineral boost that takes away any of the elements so the plant freaks out for a bit and makes it feel nice at home. So I highly recommend that you do that first and then get into the planting, which we're going to do next. So the next step is to actually grab the plant. We need to separate them. Now the liquid seaweed is soaked right into the root system. We squeeze around the outside of the pot, turn it upside down, holding the plant so they don't fall out, and then start to separate them. I put them back in the tray where I was watering with the liquid seaweed, so the roots can sort of hang around in that. Now just make sure that you keep plenty of that soil medium around the roots. We're trying to lower shock as much as possible before we start planting into this. So the next step is to get my organic compost and then fill my container up. Now I'm only going to fill it around about 1/3 full first before I actually add some of the pellets in here. And I'll tell you why. Because we want the roots going down to these pellets. Now young seedlings, these can be a bit strong for them. They can actually burn the roots. So we want the roots growing down as the plant matures and then grabbing hold of that nutrient in there. And so that is the way to go. Don't put too many around the roots of baby seedlings. It can kill them, and then it will just ruin your gardening overnight. Round about a handful. Small handful, just sprinkled on top. So next what we're going to do is we're going to add worm castings to this blend. Now the beautiful thing about worm castings is not only are they organic, and you can pretty much make them 100% free at home from your own waste around the house, they are bio-nutrient rich. Over 1 billion microbes in that. Fungi, different plant hormones, enzymes, and best of all, it doesn't burn plant roots. Young seedlings, all plants love it, It breaks down slowly over time, about 6 months before it fully breaks down. It's a slow release fertilizer. Now I'm going to add around about 2 handfuls to this system now, to this garden. And I'm going to slowly build it out as we add more compost. So, yep, another layer of compost. The roots will go down into that medium and start grabbing that beautiful nutrient. Now, we won't put any more worm castings until we start planting out. There's actually like worms all through my compost here, which is really cool. Like, look at this guy. You can see that. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera, but they'll live happily in this garden and fertilize the system at the same time. So what I've got here now is all the plants are spaced out into the correct place that they want to be. One row of Bok Choy and another row of the lettuce at the back. I'm going to add a handful and just sprinkle it around of the worm castings as well, just to put like a light layer on top. Just another half a handful there. And then we're going to start planting in. We're going to put worm castings around the roots as well. So you can see the roots here, nice and white and healthy, not too compacted. If they are compacted, you need to tease them up a little bit. And if they're not, you want to keep as much of this material around the root as possible. If it's a nice long root, you need to dig down deep and get a nice long straight root. And that is the best way to do that. Now, I'm going to start at this end down here. Just going to pull a little bit of a hole away and grab just a tiny little bit of worm casting, put it into the hole and plant the plant and just back around, fill a little bit. And I'll do sort of each one the same. The Bok Choy here as well. Just dig a little hole. And you can see it's got a very small root system. So we're just going to put just a little bit of worm cast around each one. And that nice long root there, I'm going to try and get that down as deep as I can into the medium. Now you can see here, this is the next lettuce to go in here. Again, nice and healthy root. Now you can take away a lot of these leaves on here and you can eat these. That's what I plan to do, and let the plant grow, get its strength back, because it'll throw out new leaves so quick, especially with growing in this organic compost and worm cast. You'll be surprised how fast I'll be able to pick from these. I'll be able to come out nearly pick like every day at some stage, and every second day when the plant starts getting a bit older. Really excited to have this growing like this, because I love small space gardening. And if you're small space gardening, you can grow a lot of food in a tiny area. And what you do is you actually mass plant more into one zone, and then you pull plants away and remove plants as you eat them to allow other plants to have more space. So that was pretty fast. We're nearly done. And yeah, it's just like amazing. These are around about 15 centimeters apart, the lettuce, and around about the same for the Bok Choy. Now, I expect I will be harvesting leaves from around the Bok Choy and the lettuce within about, maybe a week, because I like to harvest the tiny little leaves and use them in salads and mix them in with microgreens. And as the plants get bigger, I'll be turning them into stir fries. Pretty exciting. Look at that. Woo! Just beautiful. So I'm going to add another sprinkle of these chicken pellets. Not too many. Remember, these are organic. They've got seaweed in them, blood and bone, and different rock minerals. Now, I'm not putting them too close to the plant because these plants are pretty young. It's just a light sprinkle around the top. As their roots grow out bigger and to the sides, these guys will break down slowly and feed the system. So, yeah, super excited. This is looking really great. So it's all planted out now. The Bok Choy's down one row, the oak leaf at the back. Now you can put the Bok Choy at the front and leave these guys, because they're taller and you don't want them shading any of the system. But remember with the pellets, now they're only optional if you're using, say, a cheap organic mix and you don't have any really good worm castings. Now, worm castings and an organic compost is pretty much all you need, mate, and it's 99% of the time what I use. So I was just sort of showing options if you don't have worm casts, what else you can use, because not everyone else has that option. And I really recommend that you do take on worm farming if you haven't yet already, and just turn your waste from your kitchen scraps into something valuable that just grows amazing plants like this. So the next step is to get them into the shade, right? Leave them there for about 4 or 5 days, then slowly introduce them into the sun to harden them off. And that way you won't stress them out too much. Give them a bit of a liquid fertilizer about every second day, or a weak solution every day. It'll go down into the tanks down below of these containers, and the roots will go down there seeking more nutrition. And that way you'll have an awesome garden, growing plenty of food for you, and you'll be harvesting all the time. Now, if you're enjoying the videos, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. If you've got any questions about this video, about the mixed planting, let me know in the comments box down below. There'll be more gardening videos and worm farming videos on this channel, interrelating the two and showing you how you can turn your waste into something valuable right here on the Marty's Garden Show. Have a great day, happy worm farming / gardening, and we'll see you at the next video real soon. Bye for now.